Lesson 2, the grieving process and taking responsibility for your life. Well, during the grieving process, obviously, you will be quite miserable. I know because I cried quite a lot during my own divorce. Well, it's okay to cry, so don't worry about crying. You're not being strange or anything like that. You're allowed to cry because having a divorce is almost like losing someone to death. But you need not stay there in your negative emotion. It is important to remember that you need to get to grips very quickly with what has happened to you. It becomes your responsibility to look after yourself and your children if your partner is no longer living with you. And avoid the temptation of painting your ex black to your children, because there is a real temptation to tell your children that your partner, your ex-partner, was the worst person in the world. If that makes you feel good, it will not make your children feel good. Mind what you say to the kids. Help them to understand that the love you have for them has not waned, nor has the love that their father or their mother has for them has waned. Tell them that loved just as before. Although you and your partner are now living in two different houses, there could even be something beautiful about that, because the kids can have two homes where they will be pampered or treated nicely, unlike before when you and your partner were in one home. It is important to show the children that you are positive. By painting a positive picture of your ex to your children, it will enable them to have a good relationship with him or her. So try hard not to overdo anything that will make the children feel that they were born to a really horrible parent. One way of taking responsibility for your own life is to make arrangements for your children if they're in school. Get help if you need help. Perhaps you're working and you need a childminder. Organize one. Or if you have a car and you have to be the one to pick your children up from school, please organize it as well. You can't leave it to just anybody. You let your workplace know your situation and they will be kind. As in my own case, when I had a divorce after 25 years of marriage, I was quite broken. I used to break down in my classroom while teaching English in a London school, and the children one or two of my kids will run to the head teacher and say, "Miss is crying again." It was that bad. So at one point, my head teacher had to say, "Grace, go home, take a few days of rest, take a week off, and try and organize yourself and find a way to begin to rethink your life so you're not always breaking down in your classroom while teaching." It was difficult because as an English teacher, we were often reading stories that were quite miserable, that had emotions in them, and each one made me cry. So yeah, I didn't know what to do that much. I needed help. I didn't have one that was a professional help, like a coach. So it is important to know that if you're suffering, you should not suffer alone. Find somebody who can help you to overcome your pain. And it does pass. After a while, it's no longer the same painful thought that you used to have about your ex, because you will move on. It is very possible to move on and rebuild your life. So let's move on to the first strategy of recovering.